Personal Finance Decision Test number 9. The second simple interest problem is a little trickier. Let's start, as we did before, by listing each of these things. And this time I'm going to include the simple interest in my list. We want to figure out what we will plug in, because actually using the formula after everything is plugged in is easy. So, how much simple interest is this? She has a post-dated check. So if you don't know what that is, that's when she goes to the payday loan place and she only wants to make one trip. So she goes there to borrow her $683, and she writes them a check right then for a little bit more. But she puts the date on the check in the future so that the payday loan business can't cash the check until the date she writes on it. So she would write the date 35 days in the future from whenever she visited. So if we look at this amount, the extra compared to that must be the interest. So we'll take the amount on her check, subtract away the $683, so $7 to get to $690, another $806, so $15.06 is her interest. Her principal is the $683. The annual rate we don't know. Let's use an R for rate. And the years, it's 35 days. So just like before, 35 over 365. That's her fraction of a year. And if you don't like the fraction bar, then we can make it division. Now we have all of our things. We have our interest, the principal, the rate is a letter, and our years. So we can plug them in. So I have R, and it's in between things. If you haven't seen this kind of sandwich before, the trick is that when you multiply things, you're allowed to switch which order you do them in. The first trick we did was to switch the order of the 683 and the R. The next trick is we're just going to do this multiplication, combine all of these into one number. Don't worry about where to round. Spending time thinking about it will only slow you down on the test. Now this looks familiar. We have R times something. So to get R by itself, we divide by that something. And to be fair, we have to do it on the other side. We get about 0.23. Now 0.23 is a nice number. but we are asked to find a simple interest rate, which is traditionally a percent. So we're going to go into percent to the right 2 scoops. And we're done.